Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm out here once again with Cooper for service dog training. And here in this video, I'm going to be starting to show how Cooper's responding to commands and starting to, again, verbalize here as his perceptions are changing, which they are. And so here I'm going to be moving around with him in the circle, just doing the basic method. Still using, again, the pressure collar up, fairly high on his neck. Again, still wanting that leverage. Again, just a good tool to use at the beginning. But again, it's all about how you use the tool. Understand that when people think of certain devices, that they come with kind of a negative connotation based on what's popular, based on people kind of cranking and yanking. That's not what this is about. Because this system of training is about being proactive, okay, being dialed in, and influence being an active agent, okay, it changes the context of tools. Okay, so here for Cooper, I'm going to be using the pressure collar as I'm walking around with him. But understand, as Cooper becomes better and better in terms of his perceptions changing, this is where, again, you can switch more and more onto the flat collar, just your regular standard collar. And this is why I have two collars on him at the same time, so I can switch back and forth. So here I start to move with Cooper. I'm going to be stopping, but I'm going to be getting him to respond. I'll talk through this as I do it. He's doing really well. Here I have him on my right side here, same side as his owner. And I'm just going to start to move with him here. So I move with him here, just taking my time, just tapping the leash a little bit, kind of communicating with him as I go, tapping, move forward here, again nudging. So he's default, so he's automatically sitting. Okay, start to default sit. Now here's where I'm going to use the command, down. So bring him into a down, okay? Here I'm kind of still keeping a little influence on him because I don't want him just to kind of lock down and try to use his body weight. So I'm still keeping a level of kind of control over him, enough influence through the collar, through the leash. So I want him to come up here in a second. But notice he's fairly prone, which is a good sign. Sit, and that's great. Now see, his legs are moving, which I want them to do on their own, okay? He's more and more agreeable. Prior to, Cooper is really locking down hard. His mind was pulling in. He's really locking down. Here, he's starting to become more and more agreeable. So this is why, again, you start to use commands, okay? The down, the sit. But again, still with influence happening as I say it. So don't keep repeating yourself. Only say the command one time as I'm already starting to assert influence, okay? So eventually, it'll get to a point where I don't have to apply influence that way at all, okay? I can truly just use the commands. Here, because we're still in process, okay, still about relational change, influence still needs to be part of the equation. So again, start to move with him again. Slow him down, see tapping. Again, automatically sitting, which is great. Again, this is about doing the same thing all the time and making sense to Cooper, okay? Stress is coming off of him, which is good. You see his tail's out? Forward again. Down. So he kind of somewhat anticipates the down a little bit. Now this is where too, when you're doing a command, you want to do it in different areas too. Just don't go to the same spot over and over again. I'm doing it right here so you can kind of see it really good on the camera, but I'm going to do it over here in a second here too. And the other thing too is you don't want the dog to anticipate too much. If they're trying to engage or initiate, a certain response, you want to stop that. Okay, you really want them to be focused on what you want them to do. Sit. Really good. Notice I'm still not praising and rewarding because that's not something you want to do. I talk about that. So right here, I'm going to do another down. So again, doing it in a spot that he, doesn't the same thing. So here, okay, it's interesting too, because there he went down pretty good. A little hesitancy because we're in the opening here where the pass, this is like his escape mechanism. The crate's right over there. And so now he's starting to really let that go. But before, You see that with dogs. That's why you'll see dogs that when they start to realize that you're starting to change, you're changing your parenting style, they start to weigh their options, saying, okay, now I really want to go in the crate, but not for the right reasons. I want to get away from the human who's starting to take control. Okay, so same thing. It's really interesting how dogs start to look at things. Okay, so here, the good sign is, okay, starting to let it go. Starting to say, well, Dale's in control. I don't have to be, and I'm agreeable to what he wants. Sit. So same sit. Legs moving really good. That's great. Moving them forward. Tapping a little bit as I go. Down. So notice I'm a little more assertive with my voice at first, okay? After, I can move to just a whisper or even hand signals at a certain point. Right now, I'm being a little bit more stronger with my voice because I know where I'm at. Okay, I know that, commands are starting to happen. He's starting to respond the right way. But I'm still being a little bit more, putting a little bit more weight behind what I'm saying. Sit. Again, say the word, right, one time. Apply some influence and have him come right up, and his legs are moving. So again, Cooper's doing fantastic, really coming together really well, starting to sit, automatically. So again, this is all to show how commands start to take hold, start to take shape. Okay, but again, influence needs to be active. Okay, so I'll say the command one time as I'm already asserting influence. Okay, you don't want to lean on the words that way yet. Okay, that will happen, but I'm going through a sequence. Understand, it's all the change the perceptions the right way. Then, okay, then once the perceptions have changed, once the dog starts to perceive you properly, it's like packaging. Okay, then you can say a command. Versus, okay, what's very popular in the dog training world is using treats, and then the problem with that is if the dog already has a level of control based on the current state of the relationship, it's taking a path of bribery. And this is why, again, you get service dogs out in certain areas, and it all falls apart. Okay, the dog isn't responding to you, they're not doing tasks, it's like they're with you, but not really with you in a way that represents them being a helper. Through this system, okay, it's taking the right path, dog's perceiving the owners the right way, and therefore they can truly help you when you need them to help you in whatever the environment or situation is. So all to say, Cooper's doing really, really good. Thanks for watching.